Everyone, and welcome to the first live broadcast of today. It's Sunday, and since most of people are still sheltering and they can't get out to church, we have a day's worth of amazing programming for you. We are starting with a cooking demo where you are going to learn how to make a zucchini manicotti with a spinach tofu ricotta and sweet potato brownies, and you'll even get the recipes as long as you write an email to where you're going to get them, because I can't post recipes on the live broadcast. It's a delightful, beautiful mother-daughter duo. This is my first time doing a three-way. I'm here in Indio, California. One of my guests is in Maryland. One of my guests is in Massachusetts. So hopefully this will work out great. And then almost immediately after this broadcast, we go on to Dr. Doug Lyle, who hasn't been on for about a month. If you're here, let me know, because I get nervous. Oh, very good. Hey, Nadej. Until I see that first post, I'm thinking like, nobody's here. And then at 2 p.m., we have John Pierre. So as always, we love it when you share these posts in real time with your group. We really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, please consider doing that. I started this to just create community and connection with the sheltering in place. And I have done more videos in the last 6 weeks than I've done in the last 10 years. So thank you so much for watching. And I really do try to get to your questions, but guys, realize I don't like to interrupt my guests and they go very quickly. So I'm not being rude or ignoring you. I value your questions and I do try to get to them. And when I don't, I write them down and save them. So thanks for being here. Let me introduce the Speedy Vegan and a Speedy Vegan. So I met Elspeth years ago. She is amazing with her recipes. Please follow her on Instagram. Her food is as beautiful as she is, and you can see the daughter's a knockout too. So eating vegan, and it really does make you look good. She has an amazing ebook. Now I printed it out because I got old lady eyes. Oh my God, I didn't realize I was wearing my glasses. And she has so generously donated this book every year to our Truth About Weight Loss Summit. Her pictures are beautiful and her recipes are beautiful. But today she's going to talk about a new thing she's doing with Vegan News Daily. So I've been talking long enough. So please welcome Elspeth and Caileigh Feldman.
Thank you, Chef AJ. It's really a pleasure to be here. Thrilled to have you in my kitchen. I've been a long time admirer of your work, and honestly think that you're a world treasure for all the work that you do in the vegan community. So thank you for that. I've also been a member of your Ultimate Weight Loss group since 2014. And your voice is often the voice in my head when I'm making my food choices. So I hear you a lot. And I'm gonna let Caileigh introduce herself.
Hey everybody, my name is Caileigh. I'm a vegan and raw food chef. I've been vegan for over 8 years along with my family, and we partnered together to create the publication Vegan News Daily, which we can talk a lot more about. But it's so exciting to be here. Chef AJ, I've heard so much about her over the years from my mom, and her energy just speaks for itself. I love seeing beautiful examples of veganism done sustainably and done in such a glowing way. So it's really fun to be on, and we'll tell you a little bit more about this awesome recipe series we're creating. We are also so dedicated to creating community during this time of COVID-19 and helping bring people together from all over the world to learn how to eat more healthful foods, especially plant-based foods, and do so in a fun way. So Mom, do you want to tell everyone about what we're going to make today?
Sure, yeah. So I'm going to do 2 recipes today. The first one's going to be a zucchini manicotti with a tofu spinach ricotta. And the second recipe, if we get to it in time, is going to be a chocolate sweet potato brownies, which taste super decadent, but they're full of good stuff. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do today.
Terrific. You know, you mentioned you have my voice in your head. You know whose voice is in my head? Alan Goldhammer. That's worse. Trust me.
Yep, I've heard you say that many times, but yours is the voice in mine. So I'm gonna get started on the recipe, just because we've got a certain amount of time, so I just want to get going. The first thing that I started to do is I cook without oil, so I did start to saute some onions, just finely chopped up onions in my pan here, and I just use a little water to get them translucent, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. And to that, I add some garlic. So this is one of my favorite tools that Chef AJ sold me on. I have whole cloves of garlic. This is a tool from Tupperware. And you just put the garlic cloves in your little thing, pull the lever, I've seen Chef AJ do this 1,000 times, so it's really funny to be doing it myself. And then I pop my garlic into the pan and continue to saute with the onions. So that'll get nice and soft, and then I'll add the mushrooms and onions. So this is all part of a recipe. If you want the recipe, you're going to email us. We'll tell you where at the end of the show, and we'll happily send it to you. So the onions are soft. I'm going to add little mushrooms. And to keep Dr. Feldman happy, I'm going to add some greens. This is just some fresh spinach. So I'm going to add that. So in this pan, we have the start of what Dr. Feldman calls his G-bombs: greens, beans, onions, mushrooms. So we've got a lot of that going on. We don't have beans in here, but we've got the onions and mushrooms and garlic. And I'm going to get going sauteing that. And then I'll tell you a little bit more about what's going to happen. So add a little water just to make sure that it doesn't stick to the pan. And I also have my tofu already crumbled. So this is for the tofu ricotta part of the recipe. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to use instead of traditional manicotti pasta shells. So this is our tofu in the bowl. And I've simply mashed it up with a fork. If you like a softer ricotta, you can definitely put it into a food processor and make it a whole lot smoother. I like it kind of chunky, so I'm going to leave it as it is. And then to this, I'm going to add the nutritional yeast. I have 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And because my husband's going to be eating this dish, I am going to add a teaspoon of miso. Miso has a real high salt content. I like to eat salt, oil, and sugar-free, SOS-free, as Chef AJ taught us. But I am going to add just a teaspoon of miso to this. Miso is not a terrible food. It is fermented, but it does have a high salt content. So I'm going to mash that in. And then to this tofu mixture, I'm also going to add some oregano, dried oregano. Pop that in. And this is a wonderful addition to this flavor palette, is some allspice, a little bit of allspice. Never use too much allspice because it can really ruin a recipe. But anyway, so I'm going to mash that all together. And I've got my onions, garlic, mushrooms, and spinach sauteing here in this pan. I just want to get the spinach and mushrooms a little bit soft. And I also want to cook out some of the moisture that's in here, because once I add that to the ricotta, I don't want it to be too liquid. So I'm going to keep sauteing that. And then I'm going to move over to show you what goes on with the zucchini.
Thank you. It looks amazing. Could you tell us what your Instagram page is? Because, you know, I only follow 45 people. You have to be my personal friend. I have to know you and like you to follow you. And you have the most beautiful photographs on your Instagram page.
Thank you, Chef AJ. Yeah, I'm the Speedy Vegan, or the Speedy Vegan on Instagram. I post a lot of photographs there. Most of the food that I make is whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free. But my husband doesn't always eat completely that way, so I do post some food that's outside of the parameters of that.
99% is that.
You know, I'm not the SOS free police. I work with a very small population of people that for them it's really important. But for most of us watching, you know, you don't have to be as strict if you don't need to. I always say do the least restrictive program you can do to give you the results you want. But you look really good, whatever you're doing. So I'm going to do what you're doing.
Well, thank you, Chef AJ. So I'm going to just let that continue to saute, and then I'm just going to move on and show you what I'm going to do with zucchini. So underneath the paper towel, I have already cut some zucchini. It's paper thin, if you can see that. Okay, and it's laid out on paper towel so that all the moisture, whilst the zucchini sweats, the paper towel can absorb all the moisture from it. So I use a mandolin because it cuts it really nice and uniform. And I always advocate using a safety glove when you use a mandolin, no matter what. And I'm just going to top and tail a zucchini and slice a few more slices because we'll need it for this recipe. So always use the safety grip as well, if you can. And I'm just going to simply slice a bunch of slices here, and then I'm going to put them on the paper towel to sweat. And this is going to serve as our pasta for the manicotti. So whoops, super thin, and I'm just going to lay them out here.
I love that you're advocating the use of both the guard and the glove. When I used to work at True North, none of them would wear the guard or the glove. And I'm just like, because I have cut my thumb off on a mandolin, not the whole thumb, but the tip. And so the gloves are great. You can get them at Bed Bath & Beyond. They're like less than $15.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, it's a really, the mandolin's very, very sharp. So definitely wear the glove. Just do it. So while these are sweating, I'm going to take the spinach ricotta mushroom. Most of the liquid has evaporated, and I'm going to add this to the bowl of the zucchini. If I had more time, I would probably let this cool down before I added it, but that's okay. You can do it. And I'm going to just stir that in till all the flavors are well incorporated.
I wish we could smell it.
I wish you could too. My kitchen smells amazing right now. So this is delicious. Yeah. So that's the tofu ricotta part of it. And I'm going to start with the assembly of the final dish. So in a baking dish, I would typically use something bigger than this for the recipe that I'm going to send you. But on the base of it, I'm going to add some marinara sauce. So this is homemade marinara sauce. I just have a bunch of jars of it in my refrigerator. The recipe is also going to be on the series, the cooking series that we are going to tell you about later. But anyway, so this is about 2.5 cups of it. I'm going to add about a cup in the bottom of the baking dish. Just spread that around. And then I'm going to show you what I'll do with the zucchini. So I'm going to start on the bottom.
I have a question from Rochelle. Was it firm tofu or soft tofu?
I use the extra firm tofu. And I also pat it dry with a paper towel. You can press it by, putting paper towel on it and put a bunch of cookbooks on top if you want as well. But I pretty much use the extra firm tofu, pat it with a paper towel, and then I use my hands to grind it all up. So
yeah, that's great.
So
And Robin says, your photos on Instagram are beautifully staged and make my mouth water. So guys, check out the Speedy Vegan on Instagram. It's a beautiful page.
Thank you, Robin. So I just take about a teaspoonful of the tofu mixture and I simply roll it up. So it looks like a little roll, and I'm going to put the seam side down into the baking dish, and I'm going to keep doing that for a little while. So if you want to chat away about something else, ask me more questions. I'm just going to keep rolling up and I'll show you.
Maybe Caileigh can tell us what Vegan News Daily is.
Absolutely. So first I wanted to say that, so when I make my ricotta, I like to blend it up. So I get the really silky consistency, and my husband loves this recipe. So it's definitely a staple in our house, and it's so fast to make, which is fun. And if you have kids, it's really fun to get them involved with rolling up the ricotta and the zucchini noodles. I'm obsessed with zucchini noodles. I eat them almost every day. They're delicious. We had some last night with sort of like Asian seasoning. So for Vegan News Daily, to answer your question, we are an online publication dedicated. Our mission statement's really simple. It's good for you, good for the planet. So we like to promote sustainable brands and companies and courses like the one that we're coming up with soon, which is called Meals and Mocktails in May. And so my family and I got together about a month ago, and we were like, what do people really need right now? And like you hit the nail on the head, AJ, is like people really need community. They need inspiration. They need to know that it's okay to be home for this time, and it's the safe thing to do. And this is how we can have fun being at home and enjoy this process, learn new skills. And so we created a series called Meals and Mocktails in May, where we've written over 40 recipes. They're all delicious. And we're offering 3 classes in May. When you sign up for the series, you get access to all the classes. And the first one is Mexican Fiesta. The second one is Italian Amore. That's where this recipe is placed in. And then the third class is American Freedom. And so within each class, there's about 14 different recipes. You're going to learn all these tips and tricks and what kitchen gadgets you need to get, and how to kind of sustain this lifestyle over time, and also meet new friends online, build out that sense of community. Because when we went vegan, it was 8 years ago, there wasn't that much support online. There wasn't a lot of vegan alternatives in stores. Not that a lot of the alternatives are that healthy, but still it helps with transitioning. And so part of Vegan News Daily's mission is to make veganism accessible and easy and fun. And when people are reading articles on our website's just vegannewsdaily.com. When people are checking out articles, we really want to recommend products that we believe in wholeheartedly. Like, we're not just promoting anything. We really take the time to find the sustainable companies and spotlight them, and to help, create a more vegan future on this planet. So that's our simple mission. And it's really, really fun to all work together as a family. The publication was founded by my father, Paul Feldman, a year ago, who's Elspeth's husband of 30 years. And not only is he loves vegan food, he's also been vegan with us for about 8 years, but he's basically semi-pro cyclist, incredibly fit, intimidating so, just super strong. And it's been very cool to witness his fitness journey getting stronger and stronger. I'm more of a yogi. I'm a yoga instructor. My mom as well. She's kind of the bridge between us both. She's very strong athlete as well, but it's been amazing to see how veganism has transformed all of our lives. And that's really our passion, is to help make that more accessible.
Well, if this was founded a year ago, why am I just hearing about it today?
Well, surprise.
You're adorable. Oh.
So I'm rolling along here. I've got all the zucchini roll-ups happening. I'm going to do another couple of rows, and then I'm going to top it with some more marinara sauce and pop it into the oven for 30 minutes. So I'm almost done here. And I'm going to show you how it's going to look when it's all done in a few minutes. So I'm just going to keep going here, and I'll show you the finished product in a moment.
Great. I have a question from Danielle. She says her husband won't eat zucchini. Would it work with cabbage or a bell pepper? A bell pepper you wouldn't be able to roll up, but cabbage really needs to be cooked alone. I don't know. I'm going to let you answer that.
Good question. I would definitely give it a shot with cabbage. I have a really great recipe. Actually, it's on my website, which is called thespeedyvegan.com, for what do you call them? Cabbage something or other. What they're for?
Just cabbage rolls.
For St. Patrick's Day. Stuffed cabbage rolls. That's it. Stuffed cabbage leaves. That's it. Okay. So I have a recipe for that, and I don't see why you couldn't do it with this ricotta mixture. That would actually be amazing. So yeah, try cabbage.
Or what about eggplant? Because eggplant you can roll too.
Eggplant is also good. Yes, I've done it with eggplant before, and eggplant works brilliantly. Very good idea. Yeah.
And where did you get that beautiful accent?
So I was born and raised in Southern Africa, in a country named Zimbabwe. And I am actually a dairy farmer's daughter. I was raised on a dairy farm and grew up eating lots of fruits and vegetables and fresh, healthy things from the farm. But I also ate a lot of dairy and a lot of beef and chicken and, milk and cheese and eggs and all of that. So I grew up with, thinking that was healthy food. And when I did become vegan, I really had to do a 180 on all of my family food traditions and my sort of beliefs about what was a healthy diet. But yep, I hail from Zimbabwe. I've been married to my American husband for 30 years.
Wow. You're the first person I've ever met with your name. I've heard your name on the TV show Bewitched, but I never met anybody that has your name before.
It's a very old-fashioned Scottish name. Everyone in Scotland has great-grandmothers named Elspeth. So it's very old-fashioned. It's kind of fun. But my grandfather was Scottish, so that's how I ended up with a Scottish name. So I'm going to add a little more marinara on top of the roll-ups here, the manicotti, and nothing fancy. And then I'm going to pop it into the oven, and looks really pretty. And just like Caileigh said, it's really fun if you're having a dinner party and you got people in the kitchen. You can stand and do this. You look like a pro, and it looks really pretty. So that's it. It's going in the oven for preheated oven for 30 minutes, and I cook it uncovered because there is going to be a lot of liquid that comes out of the zucchini, and I'm going to pop it in the oven.
Yeah, and if you're still transitioning to veganism, eat a little bit more processed foods, you can also put different vegan cheeses on top to melt. Like I like the brand Violife. My husband loves that brand. And you can just put slices on top or cut out slices that are the size of the roll-ups.
That sounds good. And I suppose if people wanted to eat processed food, they could stuff it even in, even in shells, even in real pasta shells.
Yeah. So in the interest of time, that's going to cook for 30 minutes. But like a TV show, I already have some cooked and prepped. And you can serve it however you want. I have a sprig of parsley on the plate. I'm out of basil, and in this time of COVID-19, it was not so easy to run out and grab basil. So use whatever you have. I've also, on top of this, I've sprinkled some vegan Brazil nut Parmesan cheese. The recipe for this is going to be part of the Meals and Mocktails in May class that we have. So it's just a vegan Parmesan. And I've sprinkled that on top just to give it a little extra flavor and a little pizzazz. So that's it. That's the vegan zucchini manicotti roll.
Could you just hold it up as close to the camera as you can so we can see how beautiful the dish is?
There you go.
Oh, it looks so good.
You can see it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, so that's it. So that's one quick, easy, speedy little trick. I'm going to clear the set, let you talk about something else, and move on to the next recipe for the chocolate sweet potato brownies.
Well, this is great. This is actually, I was really concerned because I've never done 3 people and I'm thinking, how are you going to cook? But this is perfect. So then I can ask Caileigh questions. So your dad founded, so it's like an online magazine sort of, right? Or online publication.
Online publication. And we're building partnerships at the moment. I've just started getting involved 6 months ago. I've been leading international yoga and sound healing and vegan retreats for the past 3 years with my husband, traveling from Peru to, we lived in Costa Rica the past year. So since moving to the US, I've gotten involved with the publication. I'm the content and marketing director.
Well, since you're the marketing director, do you ever like feature products or have advertisers? Because we have a wonderful product that he's watching right now, Thomas Allen from California Balsamic. I don't know if you or your mom has ever tried his amazing, vinegars. They're oil-free, sugar-free, salt-free. So maybe I could hook you guys up.
That'd be super. We love featuring products we believe in. I'm pretty sure that's the product that my family is obsessed with. Mom, is that the vinegar that our whole family loves?
Yeah, I love California balsamics. I also use the Napa Valley Naturals, but California balsamics has such a range of incredible flavors in their vinegars.
Totally.
I'm going to hook you guys up afterwards offline. There you go, Thomas. So very good. We want to support people that create good in the world with vegan services and products. So again, I'm surprised because me and your mom had a whole year history doing something, and she never once mentioned this vegan news daily. So
it was in the beginning rounds. So now it's ready to be brought out to the world. And yeah, we are totally looking for partners. We're looking for people who have products that we believe in that are aligned with this mission. So if you have a product, if you have a company or a transformation story, like even yours, AJ, we love to feature people as well.
I can give you so many. People are probably sick of me, but the people in my group, we could give you as many stories as you want. So I'm definitely going to check out your publication. And
absolutely.
So if you're interested in checking out the class, you're going to get the recipes for free. Don't worry. At the end, we're going to tell you how to get them. It's just we want you to watch this beautiful cooking demo now. But if you are interested in the class, I know that you're donating a portion of it to COVID relief effort, which is very wonderful. And we've got a nice comment from Valerie. Beautiful presentation. I'm telling you, if you get nothing else from this broadcast, you will want to follow the Speedy Vegan on Instagram. Her pictures are just so beautiful. So beautiful.
They are. I didn't know how to cook until I went to college because I was always being made amazing meals. We never got takeout. We never ate at restaurants. My mom always home cooked. But when I went to college is when we all turned vegan. So that's when we all started learning how to cook and make delicious meals. And our Thanksgiving spread is out of this world. I have a little slideshow I'll show towards the end of like what our Thanksgiving spread looks like.
So Vicky says these ladies are both so beautiful. Indeed. Are there more of you at home? I mean, not at home, but I mean, were there more offspring to the Speedy Vegan?
Yes, actually, I have a son as well. Caileigh's 27, and I have a son who's 25, Kyle. And in fact, Kyle was the catalyst for me becoming vegan. It was a case of the young teaching the old. When 2010, I was out to dinner with my son, strapping 15-year-old handsome young guy, and out of the blue he announced that he was a vegetarian. And I didn't think too much of it because I thought, well, it'll last a week or two, no problem. But a year later, Kyle was still a vegetarian, and I was like, okay, the experiment's been fine, but now you have to choose chicken, beef, fish, something. It's like you got to get your protein. He was a jock, he was on the soccer team and playing lacrosse, etc. So I insisted that he had to choose one, and he absolutely refused. And I thought, well, maybe I should look into this whole vegetarian thing. And luckily enough, that was 2011. So Forks Over Knives had just come out, and my husband and I decided, to sit down and watch it. And we did, and our jaws hit the floor. We were gobsmacked. We were like, oh my gosh, how did we not have this information? We looked at each other. We thought, well, let's go try be, vegetarians for a month. And so that was our plan. But then, like with anything new that I learn, I dive in deep, and I spent that first week reading, watching everything that I could to do with it. And I was just floored. And I thought, well, being a vegetarian doesn't make any sense at all, but vegan makes perfect sense. So yeah, so my son Kyle was the whole beginning of that. I might never have gone down that road. So yeah.
Well, maybe we can interview him sometime, because what I'm learning from many of these guests that I didn't know, like Colin McCullough with his cooking demo, is that they have extraordinary children doing extraordinary things as well.
Yeah. So I've started to get everything ready for the next recipe, and this is going to be, I'm going to show you the finished product in the beginning. How about that? So these are my sweet potato chocolate brownies, and they are to die for. I know Chef AJ, you have a wonderful recipe with black beans, but these are sweet potatoes. So these are really delicious. Anyway, I'm going to set those right here.
I'd much rather use sweet potatoes. So that, I mean, so that's even better, because I haven't been able to eat beans for like 6 years. So this will be great. Of course, I don't eat chocolate, but I can make them with carob.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, you could definitely do it with carob. Yeah, yeah. So to start with, you do kind of need a food processor for this recipe. I have some dates that have been soaking in boiling water right here. I'm just going to add them to the blender, to the processor. And along with the dates, I'm going to add sweet potato. This is just regular sweet potatoes, the regular yellow sweet potatoes. 1.5 cups of sweet potato, add that. I'm also going to add the raw cacao powder. This is good stuff, completely raw, just cacao powder, and that's going in too. And I'm going to let that process a little while. So I'm going to make a little bit of noise here, and you can come back and visit me.
Yeah, I'll talk to Caileigh for a second. So when we go to Vegan News Daily, is it the kind of thing where we just go when we feel like it, or is like, do we sign up like for Veg World magazine? How does it work?
Absolutely. So do you want me to just screen share real quick, and I'll just show you what the website looks like? Okay.
Sure.
Let me just go for it. Okay, so I put this together in case we had time. So this is our upcoming cooking series, the Vegan Mocktails, Meals and Mocktails in May. So I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. This is me and my mom. We love cooking together. We're like, I say when we're in the kitchen, we're like a four-handed person, because we're like, we know each other's next move. My mom hates to give instructions to me, and I like read her mind all the time. So our mission with Vegan News Daily is really just to bring more conscious awareness to how we prepare, select, and consume the food on our plates, and how that energy, that positive energy, can be used to fuel a really incredible life that has a big impact. And so, like I said, our tagline, good for you, good for the planet. My mom shared a little bit about her vegan story, and I went vegan as well 8 years ago. And then I started teaching cooking classes to my fellow college students at Haverford College outside of Philadelphia. And I got funding. I would go to Trader Joe's every week, make delicious meals. This is my brother on the left with my mom, and then my dad on the right in Costa Rica. They came to visit us. And this is what our Thanksgiving spread looks like every year. My mom's book, Part of My Turkey. It's super cute on her website. And here we are teaching more cooking classes. So my husband and I lived in Costa Rica the whole past year, and we got to harvest fresh fruits from our yard. These pineapples were grown in our yard. They were the sweetest pineapples I've ever tasted. Absolutely amazing. And then we also, this is my big Passover feast on the right. I made a totally vegan, but mostly raw food Passover. So that was very fun. And this was the bamboo greenhouse that we actually built. So going back to our cooking series and Vegan News Daily, we're going to teach you how to eat salt, oil, sugar-free, where your protein comes from. We're going to kind of answer all the basics of veganism for people who might be newbies, and for people who are more advanced, we're going to teach you some fun different cooking skills in the kitchen. So you're going to get your grocery list. You're going to get over 40 delicious recipes around these themes: Mexican, Italian, and American. This is our recipe list coming up for our first class. It starts May 5th, which is in 2 days. So it's going to be really, really fun. And these are some of the recipes we're going to make, which is, they're all, again, whole food, plant-based. And then these are the recipes we're going to email out. So if you're watching today and want to get the recipes, please email us at vegannewsdaily@gmail.com. Again, that's just vegannewsdaily@gmail.com. We're going to send you those 2 awesome recipes that you're learning from my mom. And this is our website. So it's just vegannewsdaily.com. If you're interested in the dinner club, you can go to vegannewsdaily.com/dinner club. It's on our homepage right now. You can subscribe up top. And you can also contact us if you'd like to partner at vegannewsdaily@gmail.com, or if you have an awesome transformational story or know someone else who does. We would love to hear from you, and we really value your opinion. I think what sets our publication apart, I mean, there's so many amazing ones out there, but is that we're really committed to delivering the content that viewers want. We want to meet people where they're at and help them transition to healthier lifestyles. So again, here's our little flyer for vegan meals and mocktails in May. It's going to be super fun. And these are some of the recipes that are going to come up in the Italian American classes. So I will turn it back to my mom. So
It sounds amazing. And I've been posting the link if anybody wants to check it out, or if they just want to check out the online publication, just go to vegannewsdaily.com. If you want the recipes, you need to email them at vegannewsdaily@gmail.com. And guys, always kind of scroll up, because you'll see the information is right there. So how is the course delivered? Is it weekly? Is it like, do you sign up and you get it all together? Because this would be a perfect time to take a cooking course with somebody that really is like an amazing chef, and also the visual presentations because I could probably benefit from this course, because I started out as a culinary instructor to the blind, and it only had to taste good. And so I never really have the skills like your mom to really plate the food beautifully like her. So is it delivered through Zoom? Do we go every week? How is the course delivered?
Yeah, great questions. So when you sign up today, if you signed up at vegannewsdaily.com/dinner club, you're going to receive all your 40 recipes. They're in an ebook and the shopping list, and that's emailed to you right away. You're also invited to our private members only Facebook group. And then we have 3 live Zoom classes where you're going to have a whole cooking class, 14 recipes in every class on how to do it, all the tips and tricks. And then you're going to have weekly support in the Facebook group. And so we're having that live portion where you can ask Q&A, kind of like this, see the recipes, learn how to make them, and then we support you throughout the week, answering questions as you're trying to cook them for your family. So you get all the materials, and then you also get the support, which we think is really important. And as you mentioned, I think we all can continually improve our presentation skills. So this is a really great class for people who are just beginners and people who are more advanced.
That's great. And there's a question from Joan: if you miss a recipe lesson, can you watch it later?
Absolutely. Every class will be recorded and emailed out right after class. So we make sure that, we've got people tuning in from France, from Latin America, from the US. And so we want to make sure that no matter what time zone you're on, no matter what happens in your busy life, you get access to the classes.
Great. And then a question from Inez: how long are the classes?
Perfect. So each class is 1 hour long from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. On Tuesday, May 5th is the first one, then May 12th is the second one, and May 19th is the third one. But like we said, if you miss a class for some reason, you're going to get access to all the information.
Well, that's an incredible, and it's an incredible deal because you're getting 14 recipes per class. I've taken people don't realize, like I teach cooking classes, and well, not right now, but when I've taken them, it's been $75 for like one class with 3 recipes, and your program is just around that price where like that's a lot of recipes. That's
Yeah,
a lot of
it's 40 original recipes. They're all whole food, plant-based. And the cool thing that you mentioned is we are donating 19% for food banks for COVID relief. And so, you know, you're going to learn new skills, you're going to meet fun friends, and you're also going to be contributing towards a good cause.
Nice. Terrific. You
Great.
ready?
So I'm ready to continue on with the brownie recipe. Just want to make sure we get it all mixed up before we end here. So I just want to show you the fudginess. This is just the sweet potatoes, the raw cacao, and the dates. I don't know if you can see that. It's really super thick and fudgy. And that is the consistency of these brownies. They really are quite dense. So to this, I'm going to add my baking agents, baking powder, baking soda, and I'm going to put that in to my flour. Now this is just oatmeal. Just plain old oatmeal that I put in my Vitamix blender and blend it into flour. So that's all it is, nothing added, nothing taken away. I'm going to add this to the food processor. And I also have a 1/4 cup of almond milk. This is homemade almond milk, and I'm going to add that in too because it's going to be super thick. I'm going to give it another stir with the spatula because if I just started processing it, all the flour would go everywhere. So I'm going to stir it in first, and then I'm going to blend it a little bit. And then I'll show you the next step.
Yeah. So I also just an idea popped in my head. So how we recommend people enjoying class is that when you sign up, you'll get your recipes, go shopping for the recipes that you want to make that week, and then make your mocktail, enjoy class, take notes, sip your mocktail, and then after class, once you've learned all the tips and tricks, then you could prepare your recipes, or you could prepare ahead of time and cook alongside us. It's kind of up to you how you would like to do it, but I think you'll get the most from your experience if you are just fully present, watching, learning from class, taking notes, and then cooked afterwards.
That sounds great. There's a question from Deborah if you can substitute pumpkin for the sweet potato in the brownie.
Sorry, I had the processor going. What was the question again?
Oh, Deborah wanted to know if you could substitute pumpkin for the sweet potato in the brownie.
I've never tried that, Deborah, but what a great idea.
I think
Definitely.
delicious.
I think that pumpkin, at least canned pumpkin, tends not to be quite as sweet as a sweet potato. So you might, I mean, that may be a factor, but I think structurally it probably would work.
Yeah, you could probably up the dates or something like that, but something to, oh, and a very important part of this recipe is, so I have the, stuff blending here. I'm just going to add nuts and then I'll show you throwing it into the oven to bake it. But a very important part of the recipe, when you take it out of the oven, it tastes like nothing, not flavorful at all, which is really strange. But you put it in the refrigerator, let it cool completely, put it in the refrigerator, and if you can stand waiting that long, let it cool completely overnight, something like that, and then come and cut it the next day. Eat it cold, and it's amazing how the flavor is so enhanced just by letting it be cold first. So don't forget that step.
There is something that happens in the refrigerator. It's the same thing. I find like when you refrigerate potatoes and sweet potatoes, it's like they're just better the next day. Then I don't know what it is, but something happens to starch when you refrigerate it. It's like it becomes better. Oh, here's a great question from Colleen, and it could be for both of you. Did you guys go to cooking school to develop your recipes?
So I did go back in 2007, I went to some culinary school. I didn't graduate from culinary school. I just did a lot of the basic classes, a local one, and got far along. And there was a lot of, this is before I was vegan, but there was a lot of cream and butter and, stuff that I didn't want to be cooking with. So I did not continue on with that. But once I became vegan, I have just, I haven't taken any formal classes. I've just learned on my own. I did grow up cooking. I grew up at the apron strings of my mother in her kitchen in Zimbabwe. And I've always been a very confident cook, very confident in the kitchen. And in fact, as a preteen, I used to carry around, I have a little black book that I used to carry around and take with me everywhere I went. And when I went to someone's house, a friend's house, and I liked something that their mother made, I would ask them if I could please write down the recipe. So I still have my little black book today. It's really shabby and cute, but it's a trip down memory lane, seeing all the recipes that I had written down and who gave them to me. But yeah, so I don't cook. I'm not good at measuring and things like that, but I'm more of an instinctive cook. So writing recipes is actually quite hard for me, but yeah, no, didn't do anything formal, Colleen, but thanks for your question.
What about you, Caileigh? How did you learn to be such a great chef?
Well, I learned at the hamstrings of my mother's apron. No, I actually learned from my mom, but I also was a lot of self-taught. Once I went to college, I just realized no one else is going to teach me this. I was almost angry actually, because I was like, why has no one taught me how to eat healthy my whole life? Like I just took it for granted that I was always like had home cooked meals. And so I realized that if I was going to be, take responsibility for my health, I needed to learn all the skills myself. So, and then I started teaching cooking classes pretty much right away after I learned those skills. And as I mentioned, taught in middle schools. After I graduated college, I taught in public schools for 2 years, teaching vegan cooking to Dominican students who had pretty much grown up with very meat, oil, cheese heavy recipes. And they were like over the moon suddenly about our oil-free hummus and making fresh salsa and making guacamole and a lot of things like that. So I got very passionate about empowering, especially youth and, children about how to cook healthy meals, because I realized how much influence they have over what their parents and their families eat.
Thank you. Elspeth, Gina says that the little black book from childhood is adorable. Maybe you could write another cookbook based on those, because I just posted the link because somebody asked about pardon my turkey. So I posted that in case people want to check that out. Gina says, where are they located? So Boston for Caileigh. And I know you're in Maryland, Elspeth. I don't know exactly what city.
Well, I live outside of Annapolis, Maryland, pretty close to Sharon McRae. And if I can ever lure you away from her when you're in Maryland, you're welcome to come stay with us, Chef AJ.
Oh my God. Now that I see your kitchen, it's like, heck yeah.
AJ, you gotta go.
If I ever fly again, who knows? I mean, this thing has got me, I'm asthmatic, and this thing has got me really freaked out because I cannot, I'm already, well, we'll see what's happening. My thing was after 60, I wasn't going to travel anymore because I live in my dream house now. But Colleen says, pure talent with no formal schooling. And Linda, you keep asking it and I keep typing it. The mom's name is Elspeth Feldman and the daughter is Caileigh Feldman. They're the Speedy Vegan. And Louise says, have you ever heard of the Vegan Chef School in the UK?
I have not, no. I don't know about any other vegan chef schools, but great idea. So I just want to show you, I have the brownies. I just spread it out. This brownie pan, it doesn't matter. It's not going anywhere. It's really quite solid and chunky. So I just spread it into a little baking sheet. I have a few extra nuts that I'm going to put on top. You could use, dark chocolate chips if you wanted. Press that in, and this is going in the oven for 30 minutes as well at 350. And our manicotti is still going. And again, this is the finished product for the brownies, and they are delicious. They're thick, chunky, and delicious, but always eat them cold.
I actually like to put them in the freezer. I like them very cold. So
I always liked all my desserts cold. Even when I was little, I always freeze Snicker bars and stuff. So there's a question for people that can't eat nuts. Will there be substitutions?
Absolutely. We have so many substitutions for every recipe because we know that there's going to be a wide range of preferences and tastes in every class. So we definitely always like to provide that.
Well, that sounds amazing. Once again, I posted the link if you want to check out their cooking course. 19% of the profits get donated to COVID-19 causes. You can simply email them at vegannewsdaily@gmail.com to get the recipes today for free, or just go to vegannewsdaily.com to check out the free online publication. This has been amazing. When your mom said, oh, I only need 45 minutes, I'm like, you're not going to get done in 45 minutes. And she did.
We're speedy.
That's why they're called the Speedy Vegan, guys. Heidi says beautifully presented. Very, very beautiful. Any last questions for the ladies, you guys? And don't go away, guys. Well, I mean, go away, but then come back at noon for Dr. Lyle. Well, thank you for doing this. I mean, my mouth is watering and I'm not going to be able to get food for another hour. So thanks a lot,
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having us, AJ. It's really a pleasure to be here. And we look forward to maybe coming back again and telling you about our next venture.
I was thinking maybe do this again, really this, and we don't even have to do, either like one recipe a month or a week, just come back and we'll feature the Speedy Vegan and tell people to come check out your course and just check out your publications. So everybody's saying thank you. They've emailed for the recipes and they can't wait for the brownie recipes. And
I'm about to send out all of the emails, I promise. And thank you, AJ. This has been so fun. And thank you, Mom. You look amazing. Yeah, this has been a blast.
So,
We'd love to come back on.
Absolutely.
And I was also going to say that this is a great gift for Mother's Day. If you're looking for a Mother's Day gift for any of your moms and you want to give them the gift of good health and good food and something fun to learn, something fun and new to learn, it can be an early Mother's Day gift. So
yeah, we've had a lot of moms and daughters buying the gifts for each other, which is really cute. So.
Well, it sounds absolutely amazing. And I just might take it myself because I love you guys. And it's just, I love the way you cook and just to learn some presentation techniques, because that's where mine is kind of, I get so many nasty comments on YouTube. That looks terrible. I know, but it tastes good. That's all I care about. So, oh my God. Well, thank you guys. You guys are great and good luck with your new venture. And maybe next time you'll bring the dudes on, your dad and your brother. We'd love to see them.
I'll bring my husband too. He's also a vegan. Like the week we met, he went vegan too. It's pretty awesome.
And Heidi's saying great gift for Father's Day too. I mean, let's face it, we don't know, every state is different, of course, but those of us, at least in California and many other states, we're going to be sheltering at least probably another month. This might be a good time to learn some healthy new recipes and then get the support of these lovely ladies for that journey. So, hey, Thomas Allen just signed up. Thomas Allen is the guy I'm going to connect you with from California Balsamic. I've been telling him, come on and do a cooking demo. Show us how to use these vinegars.
Oh my God. Balsamic just takes things over the top, and that would pair so well with all of our Italian recipes.
And even a little bit of his raspberry balsamic drizzled over the brownie. Oh my God, right?
That's good. Yeah. Great
My
idea.
husband drinks the bottle of balsamic vinegar. He loves them.
And thank goodness Dr. Greger put in his new book, How Not to Diet, that we need to have like 2 tablespoons a day. So, now it's been ordered by the doctor. Lorna says, thank you for your time and your great recipes. I could talk to these beauties for a lot longer, but I have got to reset because in 12 minutes we have Dr. Doug Lyle. So thank you, ladies, Speedy Vegan and Speedier Vegan, maybe. How's that? And thank you guys for coming. And it's my pleasure, Missy, to work on a Sunday. So I hope to see you guys soon, and good luck with your new venture. And everybody, at least check out the free recipes and check out Vegan News Daily. And here's the link one more time if you want to check out what looks like an absolutely outstanding course. All right. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks, Chef AJ.
Say goodbye, Caileigh. Okay. Bye-bye.